Was a cheerleading reflex. We were told spirit fingers above all else. Anywho, I'm Brooke. This is my show. It's called Babes. Babes in Joyland. That's my face. Perfectly photocopied onto someone else's face. It's very fun. I call it Babes in Joyland, mostly because we're all really good looking. Thank you. Thank you. But also because we're like newer comedians, right? We're babes. We're fresh out of the wombs. We'll talk more about wombs in a little bit. Let me get into some of my jokes. First of all, this upcoming November is a very important date I want to tell you all about. It's November 5th. It's very, very, very important. There's something very, very important that you must do on that day. Okay? If you don't love me. Okay? You need to wish me a happy birthday. Okay? Do not go to bed without wishing me a happy birthday on November 5th. That is a mandate, okay? Or a woman date, whatever. You guys like nicknames? Yeah, everyone likes a cool nickname, right? My name's Brooke. So my real good friends, for short, they call me Bruh. Yeah, hear it all the time. It's pretty cool. I have a lot of hobbies. You guys like hobbies? Doing stuff with your free time when you're not forced to do a lot of labor for a little bit of money, you know, hobbies, things that keep us sane. I like to meditate. It's a really good hobby of mine. Do any of you fuck with the void? Yeah, it's fun. I like to meditate. Sometimes it can be like a little traumatic, or it'll bring back a trauma. Like I was meditating and I kept hearing little whispers from my childhood nemesis, you know, like, you're going to need to marry a rich man if you want to be happy. It's like, Mom, I'm trying to meditate here. Other hobbies I've tried. I tried bowling for a while. It was pretty fun, but then there was a strike, you know, so no more bowling. Do macrame. So I do a lot of things with knots, tying a lot of knots, making booby traps for my feet. Tried tying the knot. That's dumb. That was stupid. I don't have a lot of time left, so I'm just going to wrap up. Sometimes I go to fun places because I get complimented there. Like the dentist, they say how nice my teeth are and how good I am at brushing, right? I go to the acupuncture and they say how beautiful my skin is, how it looks like butter. I don't know why, because that's so specific. But then I also go to Linda. She's my colon hydrotherapist, right? And she tells me how I'm full of shit. Yeah. And then I prove it to her. It's so fun. I'm Brooke. That was my time. Thank you so much. I'm gonna bring on some more babes. So please keep that applause going. Welcome to the stage, Kaya Vosha.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Kaya Vosha. I got to choose my name. I picked an Albanian name. That's where my dad's side of my family is from. But I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. So the same goat pops up twice in my family tree. You leave cousin Uncle Billy out of this. He was a hero, or a gyro, depending on what region you're dining in. Just say what they say, just wherever you're going. I came out to a lot of family recently, this year. I finally said, look, every family tree gets one fruit. And one goat twice, apparently, but I digress. But yeah, that's spelled K-Y, like the jelly. A, where it goes. I was gonna go by the name Jenny, but I thought it was too basic. I wanted to do like what Elon Musk's kid, like do the numbers thing, but do 8675309. Just have my middle name be Wingdings. Bottom surgery was important to me. Had to get those wisdom teeth out. So I have OCD, and if you can't tell, that's because I count in my head. And that has to deal with anxiety or your like fight or flight response, or as I like to call your throw hands or throw up response. Anxiety's bad, and it touches everything, right? Like, I get paranoid about things I shouldn't be paranoid about. Like, I heard if you have a stroke or a heart attack or something, you smell burnt toast. So I don't ever cook toast because I just know when there's toast fumes in the air, I'm going to be thrown off my game, and that's when I need to be looking for the phone to call an ambulance. I'm just thinking about toast. Speaking of burning things, I'm getting my facial hair removed with that laser stuff. I got sick of having to shave every morning and just like scrape my face, go, and then just dump cold water on my face. I'm sick of it, you know. I have to cover it up with like this red stuff. It kind of just looks like I got out of the middle of a blood ritual. And so I can't get in direct sunlight on my face, so I got one of those flat hats, looked like a Proud Boy George. And vocal training was interesting this year. I just do it a lot in life, and now I just kind of talk how I want to. But a little phrase that would help my voice just kind of get to the place I want it was heat from fire, fire from heat. So there's just someone like me out there with blood on my face, weird witchy hats, and just incantations. Heats from fire, heats from fire. We're in the Midwest. They know how to use a pitchfork here. I just can't be too careful. Some things won't change with hormones. I'll always have a beautiful voice like Louis Armstrong huffed a blimp of nitrous. Or Miley Cyrus got hit in the gut or something. So fall always makes me want to just get more just head shop supplies, essentially crystals, incense. I'm essentially a werewolf at this point. I just come back to it on the full moon. I think the worst thing a comedy club could have going on is a cricket infestation. I give it a 1 out of 1 star. I didn't have a good time, but I don't think I was supposed to. IBS sucks, guys. I did not have a brat girl summer. I had a brat diet summer. I'm over it. I'm ready for a shithead fall. Let's go. So another bit about my anxiety, it was hard to deal with. My probiotic yogurt expired recently. Reads on the label, 800 cultures contained. That's a lot of people I fucked up. I can't handle that. My white guilt can't do it. All right, that's all my time tonight. All right, I'd like to introduce our next comedian. All right, thank you. Melissa Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad that Brooke said that this was mostly new comics and I don't have to explain my papers here. I have been given feedback that I'm like pretty stiff on the stage, so I'm gonna try and move around, which is like weird because I'm very limber. I did gymnastics. It actually started in my mom's womb, dodging every coat hanger. We'll be doing a lot of abortion jokes tonight. So I am on the board of directors of Nebraska Abortion Resources. I will refer to that as NEAR. So the unfunny part, but anytime anyone gives me a microphone, I'm always going to say it. We are Nebraska's only abortion fund. So if you yourself need an abortion or someone you know and you can't pay for it, we will pay for it. If you need to go out of state because you're past the 12-week ban, we'll pay for you to go out of state to receive that care. So if you are looking for a nonprofit to donate to, Nebraska Abortion Resources, or if you're pregnant and you want a yeetus fetus, you go ahead and DM me. I have actually had 2 abortions, so I'm like, somewhat of an expert. My first abortion was really sad. Like, I was 18. I was in an extremely abusive relationship. And I have no doubt had I kept that baby and was tied to my abuser, he would have killed me. He killed my cat. So yeah, like legitimately a psycho. My second abortion is, I don't know if you all have heard of a BOGO sale, but if you think I'm passing up a coupon in this economy, you're out of your fucking mind. So when you get an abortion, something that happens by state law is you have to have an ultrasound. And I'm sure everyone's seen an ultrasound on TV. We've all watched Grey's Anatomy, that they take the ultrasound machine, they do it on your tummy. That only works if you're far along in gestation. If you're pretty early, which most people are when they get an abortion, is they actually take the ultrasound machine, it looks like the world's saddest dildo, and they put it inside of you. And this nurse, so sweet, told me that this was called a transvaginal ultrasound. And I was like, listen, lady, I don't care how this thing identifies. I just want to get this the fuck over with. Okay, thank God. The trans people laughed. You guys can laugh. Which I need you guys to know how important the abortion fund is, because back in 2007 and 2008, when I got my abortion, there was no abortion fund. If there was, I wouldn't have been at Coinstar trying to kill my fucking baby. Abortion's probably like 90% of my personality at this point. If you guys follow me on social media, you know that I posted a bunch about getting signatures for the petition to get abortion on the ballot, which it is in November. By the way, vote for 439 and against 434, which looks to uphold Nebraska's abortion ban. Pete Ricketts and his mommy's money put that together. But anyways, I'm posting about that constantly. I'm posting about the abortion fund. I'm posting about the ballot. And if you scroll through my social media, it's abortion, 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 a kid. Oh, fuck, one made it. So I do have 2 kids. They're 6 and 8, little survivors, as I like to call them. I am divorced. Those kids did come out of my marriage, eventually got divorced. I filed for divorce in October of 2020. It was finalized in February of 2024. So if that just tells you all how awful that whole thing was. I love that Kaya talked about OCD, because I actually developed OCD coming out of that traumatic experience. I'm sure you guys have all watched TikTok. All have a wonderful trauma response that you have identified with. But for example, like I tried on 3 outfits before I came out tonight. If it touches my body, it's dirty. I have to rewash it. Like I can't do that. I went out of state to testify in Ogallala for the abortion fund, and my dirty clothes went in the bag with my clean clothes. Those have to be washed. Light them on fire, burn them in the garage. We can't wear those again. But I always think, man, wouldn't it be so cool if you could like sign up for your trauma response? Do you know how quickly I would have been in the line for anorexia? I'd be so fucking hot right now if I could have an eating disorder. But no, I just have to be a clean bitch. I am bisexual, so a lot of people ask like, heyo. A lot of people ask, were you married to a woman? Like, no, I was married to a man. He was a bitch the entire relationship, though, so you could consider it a lesbian marriage. His mom's pretty cool, though. We still keep in contact. She calls me. We send pictures of the kids. She knows about my work at the abortion fund. I think she's trying to get me to pay for her late-term abortion, though, which I would gladly shell out money for. But we were married for about 10 years. He was a felon when we met him. And when he told me that, when he introduced himself, I misheard felon as fix him. It didn't work. So eventually we did separate. He did go to federal prison for selling drugs. He was an addict pretty much our whole relationship, which is sad, right? Like that is an addiction. It is a mental illness. Like people do need help for that. Just unfortunately, none of the substances he abused were Rogaine. But like I said, I am bisexual. I do kind of prefer women, but I am the walking billboard that sexuality is not a choice, because I wake up every morning by the grace of God trying to be a lesbian, but a dick will catch me every now and then. And it's not great. I am sleeping with a man right now, or as I like to call my self-harm era. I did find him on a dating app. I did sign up for all of them: Tinder, Bumble, Farmers Only. You know, you do what you got to do in the Midwest. But we have to get to know men, ladies, before we sleep with them. It's a real pain in the ass, and trust me, they'll talk you right out of that shit, but you have to put your due diligence in because we don't reward Republicans with our pussies. I'm not letting see a man that votes red see this pink, all right? When I did used to sleep with men more often, one of my favorite things to do was to tell them I was a squirter. I wasn't at the time, but they try so much harder if you tell them that you are. Until eventually that did happen. And I kind of looked into it, and there's this whole debate, like, is squirt pee? Is it not pee? We don't know. If only science invested in women's bodies, we'd probably know. Hashtag goals. But what I can tell you is when I did do it, it smelled like pee. I could smell it. He could smell it. The dog could probably smell it. I didn't know what to do, so I quickly farted to throw him off the scent. But before you date, before you sleep with anybody, it's super important that you get tested for STDs. I do go to the Douglas County Health Department. For those of you that don't know, it's $20 cash. My copay is $25, so it makes sense to do so. And they have you mark down what you use for sex when you check in. So the options are mouth, vagina, penis, anus. I marked 3. Let you guys guess which 3. But when I checked in, the doctor was so sweet, was just like super happy I was there, explained to me the whole process. She was so thorough, which I'm not used to. Normally I would go to my OBGYN and she would swab my vagina for what was only described as like loose change. But I'm up in the stirrups. She's showing me the Q-tip that we're going to use, and she explains that we're going to start with my behind. And I go, listen, lady, this isn't my first time ass to mouth. You can go in. But I will tell you that this woman, when she was a little girl, did not dream of being a doctor. She wanted to work for NASA because the way she entered my asshole was if she was an astronaut and that dirt star was the International Space Station. She was really in there like it was Baskin Robbins, and she was trying to find that 30-second flavor. Finally, I had to scoot back, and I was like, listen, lady, I had an iced coffee 30 minutes ago, and you're not wearing safety glasses. But I will leave you, before I introduce our next comedian, I'll leave you with one piece of advice if you're trying to date a vegan, man or woman. It is the best pussy eating I've ever had in my life, and I'm going to tell you my reason as to why. It's because their body craves meat, and this is the only way that they're going to get it. All right, that's my time. I want to introduce Teryn Perez to the stage.
Woo! Oh my gosh. This is a different person than Melissa, guys. Okay, I know we look very similar. It's fine. I'm bisexual too, but I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait to get to that, but it's okay. Spoiler alert, guys. Oops. Okay. But you heard that correctly. My name is Teryn Perez. All right. Yes, I'm aware that I have the skin complexion of Casper. Okay. I look like I just got done riding at the stables. I don't know what this look is. But guess what? Yes, I am actually divorced. Again, not Melissa. I'm not the same person. We're two different white women that got divorced. But unlike her, my ex-husband, he was oh so kind to let me keep his last name after my divorce. He actually said to me, I hope it gives you more street cred. Like, okay, thanks, bud. I don't know. He really said it to me like he did me some big favor. And the only favor he really did for me was make me realize that he knows just as much about the streets as Drake. And I feel like I probably shouldn't have been surprised by that. Okay? I feel like, Drake's been an inspiration of him for a long time. Because when we first started dating, I was 16 and he was 21. Yeah, like, talking about 21, can you do something for me? Can you make me an adult, baby? He did struck a chord of A minor. Yes, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. When I married him at 18, I put the bride into child bride, and he put the groom into grooming. Yeah. No, a lot of people will question me why I kept his last name after the divorce. I think you're asking me the wrong question. Like, you should be asking me why I took his last name in the first place. Obviously, Just told you for the street cred. God. But no, you'd keep your ex-husband's last name too if you grew up with the name Teryn Rayanne Walbaum. And I'll look this way real quick. Teryn Rayanne Walbaum. I have no problem telling the whole world my full legal government name because I know for a fact that no one will be able to spell it correctly. Yeah. And you know, like, it's nothing against you guys. I don't want you to feel bad about that. Like, my mom who gave me that name, she could not remember how she spelled Rayanne until I was in 8th grade and she found my birth certificate. Yeah. You know how traumatizing it is to have to scribble out all these like bubble letters on all of your notebooks and binders in middle school. And it's not because you went through a breakup, okay? Or just have kids bully you because apparently you don't know how to spell your name by the age of 13. Yeah. Well, I can let you know, trauma like that, it'll make you do some desperate things. Like get married at 18. Just so you can have one name that people know how to pronounce and spell correctly. All right? No, I did get married. I want to make it sound a little bit better. I was 18, but it was almost exactly a month before my 19th birthday. I don't know why I feel like that makes it sound better. But I did start going through a divorce about exactly a month after my 29th birthday. And by my 30th birthday, that's when I became bisexual. Yeah. Now, okay, and now let me let you, okay, when you come out right after a divorce like that and you're late in life kind of thing, a little late bloomer, a little late, I don't know, gayer, I don't know. But people just assume that your ex was such a piece of shit. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. Oh, bleep that one out. Okay, cool. Any hoozle snoozles. But they just think that he is so awful that he turned you gay. Like, not wrong. But, like, I'm also not going to give him credit for something that I did all the work for to figure out, all right? No. Okay? But I did get asked a lot. And they were like, now, Teryn, was this something you always knew about yourself? Or was that something you discovered during that journey of divorce? I was like, no, this is something I discovered during that journey of masturbation. You know, when I was stealing my dad's Hustler magazines to do it. Okay, that's when I really figured it out. Fun fact, my older sister, she did get grounded because my dad accused her guy friends coming around of stealing his Hustler magazines. Meanwhile, they're just like shoved underneath my mattress like I'm a 14-year-old boy. Yeah. But, you know, I will say I was worried about, you know, coming out bisexual. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, William would give a fuck. You know, I didn't know if I'd make a post about it. I felt like somebody that you all know that's had their second kid, and you're just like, cool, huh, another one. Like, good for you, you know, and stuff. But no one cares. We get it. And I think, you know, I have to say my little sister, when I told her, though, I think she was my favorite reaction. Okay, because I was like, oh, you know, I'm on the phone with her, letting her know. And she goes like, you know, Teryn, like, that's cool. Like, you know, but I just feel like, you know, like everybody and their dog right now are bisexual. It's just like the new hot trend. And she did tell me that, guys, as she is sitting in county jail about to be transferred to prison. And I was like, cool, well, you know, you might want to jump on that bandwagon as well, Addie. It's like, where you're about to go, you know, I know you're a picky eater and you love hot dogs, but I'm pretty sure they only serve tacos in there. So you might just have to learn how to have an appetite. But I am very proud to admit, my little sister, I talked to her on the phone when she was in prison, and she goes, yeah, I have 14 girlfriends in here. Well, goddamn. All right. Oh, okay. And I said, now, Addie, I got to ask you, are you eating that taco, or are you just like, you know, are you just serving the tacos, you know, like you a pillow princess? And I know she didn't have pearls because she's in prison, but I could hear her clutch those imaginary pearls. And she goes, oh, gosh, well, I'm a pillow princess, of course. And I was like, Well, glad prison never changed you. I was really worried about that. But really what I took from that was like, man, do I need to like commit a felony to get a woman? Like, is that what it is? Like, I know how to do accounting. I could do some white collar crimes. Like, I could cook some books to get a woman that cooks. I'm thinking if I do white collar, I'd get like a Martha Stewart kind of lady. I don't know. But I can say this much. I do know that I've been bisexual like my little sister went to prison the same time I became bisexual. And that woman has had more women go down on her than me. So I don't know. It sounds like a selling point for me, if I'm being honest, guys. All right. But all right. That's all I got for right now. Let's give it up for everybody else who's been on this show tonight. Give it up for everybody who's been here. I'm going to hand it off to Brooke, this beautiful host here. You can clap. You guys were waiting for a second. You're like, yeah. All right.
Thank you. Oh, one more time for Teryn. I'm gonna do a minute. Thank you. I'll do like a minute of some fun impressions, okay? And then we'll close it out. In honor of Halloween, my spooky scary witch. Thank you. This is an old man that is laughing, obviously at probably one of my dad jokes. That one's sponsored by asthma and emphysema. Thank you. This one is inspired by childhood. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Y'all know who it is? Mickey Mouse. Okay, how about if I add this? Oh boy, that tickles. Tickle me Elmo. If you don't have one, you should get one. They're so much fun. Okay, this one, just a little bit of backup. Super famous, obviously dead. We talked about the grooming, so Yeah. Like he was really, really good at like grooming, right? Like making himself look good, and also liked young girls. Okay. I feel like I had one more impression, but I can't think of it right now. So, anywho, this was such a fun show. Let's bring up Teryn again. Kaya, can you come back up real quick? And then Melissa. We'll just see them all again. Let's see them one more time for Teryn. Yay, one more time for Melissa. Let's all get up here. Yay, thank you. Thank you.